What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld, and right now we're going to be talking about Madden 23 and its new ability, Field Sense. Now, whichever way you want to go about it, you can call it an ability, you can call it like something that goes on within the game, sort of like the stadiums with Madden 22 with the momentum. It's going to be something that's going to heavily affect the game. Now, many of you guys have already seen the Madden cover, John Madden. It's several versions of it, and we're getting really excited. It's like that a new Madden is coming. Whether you like this current Madden or you don't like it, that something new is coming. So if you're into Madden, it's automatically going to be a lot of excitement. All right, so when you look at it that way, I just felt the need that we had to talk about it. It's like, many of you guys were asking, they're going to be showing a trailer tomorrow, introducing us to Field Sense. What do I think? So pretty much, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts about it. Let me know if you agree with it or what you think it's going to be. But more than likely, what's going to happen is I believe that the players are going to be more in tune, similar to the way that they have like they have field study. I think the players are going to be able to kind of sense continuous plays that you run. It's like EA is going towards trying to make it so that the defense plays better, but they're not really. In Madden 22, it wasn't really a good job done of being able to take advantage of the fact that what your opponent is going to do. I feel now with the coach, John Madden, on the cover, I feel that it's going to be an emphasis on defense. Now, what does that mean for us as players that play the game? It can be good and obviously can be very, very bad. If they overdo it defensively, like when we go back to I would say Madden 18 when man coverage was just OP to start the year, and it's like everybody was crying, they were crying about it, pretty much, different pro players or, players that have the access to EA where they can complain very, very loudly. They caused the game to be patched very early. Obviously with the post routes, drags and stuff like that, those routes will still beat the coverage, but people are going to complain that things are too overpowered. So what happens is this, right? We're going to have to find a medium with this new Madden 23. Because one thing I can tell you, regardless of how bad a Madden has gotten because of, like the patches and, all of the updates, usually at launch, we kind of get a feel of what the game is going to be. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is this, though. Escape Artist for Madden 22, it was never that bad in any other Madden that I can remember. And one of the major reasons for the game being what it was because the blitz angles were completely horrific in the game. Like Madden 22, like right now I'm using Tom Brady and he has Escape Artist. It's the golden ticket Tom Brady. And I'm using Escape Artist offensively, so you can see Tom Brady moves a little bit faster, throughout the gameplay. With the way that Madden 22 was, there's no way to really counter a crazy dude that runs around with Escape Artist. But with Field Sense, I just feel that the players will have the ability to know that that's coming and play better. Now, however they format it, like whatever they choose to do to make it become what it's supposed to be, we have to see how it displays on the field. But ultimately, I think that it's going to change Madden forever because we may actually get defense back in the game. And the reason that I really feel like confident about it is because of the fact that John Madden is on the cover. Now, other things that's going on with the game we're going to break down. Some of you guys were asking about, will they bring Madden Coach back and add all the stuff that they used to add to him where you could add speed and you have to grind the game to do it? That's going to be pretty difficult for them to do because they've made people not have to play head-to-head, and you kind of get away with playing solo battles to get different features. Now they've introduced the strategy cards. I don't know where that's going, but we're going to talk about that, my thoughts and ideas about that. But the Field Sense aspect of it, what I feel that you guys need to really thoroughly understand about it, it's something that I believe it's going to be focused defensively. Now, will it be offensively to where a receiver can see that a guy is pressing? Just imagine this. Imagine your player has Field Sense and you go up to the line like a real wide receiver and you see the DB, he's not square, he's off to the side, giving you the inside. Real football concepts. Is your player going to react differently? You know what I'm saying? Or when the quarterback comes to the line to check to look for the Mike linebacker, would it cause something to make his O-line pick up one of those glitchy blitzes that still scream off the edge and be wild and be like, yo, what's going on, G? You know what I'm saying? That's what I think that they're doing. And I think a lot of Madden 22 was more of an experiment. That's why with the most recent Ultimate Legend with Ed Reed, they pretty much is giving you field study for very, very cheap. Because I think what their whole idea is to try to balance the game, which I think, like I said, again, the beginning of the year, I think they do a good job of balance and trying to figure out which way they're going. And in certain ways, it just doesn't translate onto the game, simply because once you start updating it, there's no real way to know which way it's going to go. You know, a la Escape Artist. So, for instance, like looking at what this guy's doing. Let's take a look at what this guy's doing, right? He's coming out in bunch. He's audibling over the tight, right? I pretty much know what he's going to do. You see what I'm saying? You see the way that the blitz just like completely converges on him? I know what he's doing. But with field sense, because I know he's going to pass the ball, would that make my player get off the line faster? Would I then need something like, not Escape Artist, like Edge Threat Elite? Would I actually need that? Because if my player has an attribute where his awareness is high, will that attribute to his field sense? Or would that just be something that the player actually knows, he knows to do? Like right there, right? You see the way he throws that over my player's head? Would my player be able to, depending on his attribute, have the field sense to know to drop back without having zone drops? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you guys feel about zone drops. Let me know in the comments. I don't like it. I think it's like, it kind of, it takes away from the fact that the players have attributes where they have awareness, they have like, high zone man. They should be able to determine what is going on based on the down and distance. The way we used to do it, that's a crazy lurk right there. The way we used to determine how a player played had nothing to do with zone drops. It really focused on how good was that player. And remember, only if you weren't using him. I'm not trying to go back to AppKey where we were using AppKey and the dude was garbage, but you could use him because he had speed and, do stuff like that. I'm not talking about it like that. What I'm saying is the players pretty much, when they have a higher overall and they meet a new threshold, would field sense automatically kick in? I believe in franchise and regular head-to-head. That's going to be the case in Madden 23. I'm not really sure about what's going to happen with Mutt though. I do believe it'll probably be an ability, just because I think the abilities is where we are right now. I think that's where we're going, pretty much like, badges in 2K. This is the era that we're in. Players are going to need to have abilities to just even function. For you to even walk out on the field, you're going to need an ability for legs. So I believe, and this is just what I'm thinking, when you look at the whole field sense aspect, I don't think that you're going to need to actually, wait until they release a new ability. I believe that this ability will probably be available at launch, and it'll probably just apply to the game. It's sort of like when they introduced the stadiums, and you can see it in the top, over the scoreboard, and you look at it, you're like, yo, gee, what's going on with that? Well, we didn't really understand what they were talking about with momentum, but then when we learned about like the infinite stamina, and we saw dudes running around and whatever, and then they kind of tuned that up, it's sort of like something that they added into the game, like another dimensional field, process to include it in the game to make it a more natural experience. That's what the whole assessment is, what I'm getting. Now, remember, after we see the trailer, right? Once the trailer is released, we're going to be able to definitely 100% know where this Madden is headed. If they give us similar type of, plays where the guy is, not reacting, or it's like a jump with two people animation where they're not really separating, or, the old school animation where a guy is diving and just still catching the ball through somebody's body. If we see anything like that, or any of the older animations, I would probably be very, very concerned, because although they've taken away a lot of what was in 21 and 20, you can still sometimes get those same kind of freakish animations. So I'm just looking for a different type of game. I want to see something that makes sense. So if we're playing defense and we know that somebody's doing something, we don't have to have field study. If we have a player that has a certain attribute overall, he should be able to use his field sense to kind of, more or less gauge it. The way you gamble, like a regular football player gambles, Jalen Ramsey, he's going to gamble, like certain, Stephon Gilmore, like they can feel it and they go after it. I think that offensively and defensively, like I gave the example of the, quarterback coming to check down at the line of scrimmage or whatever, they'll be able to determine it. And I believe that it should happen as the player's overall actually goes up. And it should be something like that. That's just my gut feeling with it. But again, that's why I'm opening it up to you guys, because we're going to start like going ahead and gauging on all the new Madden 23 news and try to figure out together what's really going on and what can make this game better. I know some of you guys don't even want escape artists, so I'm going to look at some of the things that you guys want, some of the top 10 features and stuff like that. I'm going to do a video about it depending on, you know, your feedback. What don't you want to see in Madden? What do you want to see in Madden? And what do you think Feel Sense is going to do to the game? My opinion, I think it's going to help defensively if it's what I think it is. Otherwise, we'll probably be in for the same type of game. I want to thank you guys and girls for watching. Enjoy your day. One love, y'all.